Hi all, Hag Sameach. Tonight is the preparation day before Passover. And I just want to give you a little bit of information about tonight, which starts at dusk, because normally this would happen the day before Passover, Passover being Saturday evening at dusk. But because tomorrow is Shabbat, the preparation day and the getting out the Hametz out of your house happens tonight. Sorry for the delay. Sorry that it took me so long to get this to you. But here we are, a couple hours before sunset. Maybe you'll see this, maybe you won't. But if you do, maybe you can have some fun with your kids. Anyway, what this is about is actually the Jews, prior to Passover, some people take over a month to get all the Hametz out of their house, and that's anything leavened. And the night before, the night of preparation before the Passover, which again is happening an extra day early because you cannot, and nothing can happen on the Passover. No preparation can be had. So tonight also is the fast of the firstborn male. So if that's something you want to do, that starts at sunset tonight also and goes till sunset tomorrow, which is Shabbat. No fasting on Shabbat. That is not allowed. And you can eat the challah bread on Shabbat. These are some new things I just found out about, that is still no fasting on Shabbat. It's a God's appointed Moedim, and he wants us to celebrate, eat Shabbat, and eat challah and not fast. Anyway, getting back to tonight. So what is done this evening, the preparation day before Passover, is the adult goes and gets 10 pieces of bread and hides them around the house before it gets dark out. And then once sunset occurs and it's dark enough, you light a candle with a blessing, and I'll tell you the blessing in a few minutes. And you go around the house with all the children. The children find the breadcrumbs, and they're supposed to stay room by room and go from room to room. Now, the really cool thing is what the bread represents and what you can explain to your kids. The bread represents sin. And what we're trying to do is get all the sin out of the house. Jesus was blameless and spotless, and there was no sin in him. So this is one of the, symbolically, we get the sin out. And it says, there's a scripture that talks about a little bit of leaven ruins the whole batch. And it's true. That's why, you might not sin a lot, but just a little bit of sin ruins the whole. We're all sinners. The only one who didn't sin was Yeshua. So for this Passover, this is something that they've been doing for thousands of years, and it's a beautiful tradition, and it's fun for the whole family. And one of the things that happens is often one of the pieces or two of the pieces may not be found, especially if you're anything like me and you forget where you hide stuff. So what that also represents is that hidden sin, the sin we don't know about. The one that, we've, like that breadcrumb we might find 6 months later, maybe it's not going to be revealed to us right away. God has a beautiful way of revealing our sin to us if we're in him. He's often very gentle about it. Sometimes he's robust about revealing the sin, but it's normally on a case-by-case basis, and how quickly he needs to reveal that sin to us to save us, right? But anyway, so a lot of symbolism in the hiding of the bread of the Hametz. I do want to. I'll actually give you a little. Let's see. I'll explain what Hametz is for those of you that don't know. This is what is the Hametz? Leaven is the ingredient used in bread making that creates the holes you see in the bread loaves. Leavening agents permeate the dough by releasing gases that cause the entire batch of dough to rise. In Hebrew, leaven is called the Sior, whereas a leavened product is called the Chametz. In ancient times, Sior was as a lump of old dough allowed to reach a high level of fermentation, sometimes called sourdough or yeast. My daughter makes sourdough bread. It's delicious. When the pieces of sourdough was kneaded together with a mixture of the flour and water, it accelerated the rising process and created Hametz. And isn't that how sin works? You let a little bit of sin in, or whatever, a lie or whatever, and all of a sudden that little lie, if you don't rectify the lie, it just becomes this one giant lie. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, you ever see, like from a long time ago, they would do cartoons and the snowball would start little on the top of the mountain where all the snow was. And then as it started rolling down the hill, it started getting bigger and bigger. And then that big snowball was rolling over people and collecting people. I don't know if you've seen that one, but that was an old cartoon. Anyway, that's what happens with sin. Sin just gets, if you don't address it right away, if, and get rid of that sin, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I love what's behind getting rid of the chametz, and you can actually teach your kids about it. It's a very teachable moment about sin, just from these 10 pieces of breadcrumbs that you're going to hide today for tonight to find. Sort of sounds like an Easter hunt, but with bread. The real hunt that's in the Bible. So, you want to give prizes. I don't know if that's something they do. I haven't gotten that far, but again, this is not about, for me, I'm doing what I can with what I know, with the knowledge I have to share with you guys, to honor God as best as I know how with what I have. You know what? Do it or not do it. You know what I mean? We always, start somewhere. This is something, I'll be honest with you, I've never done this Hametz part. This is very new for me this year. And to be honest with you, like the whole thing about getting the bread out of the house the month before, if my husband saw me carrying bread out of the house, he would not. He would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm getting the bread out for Passover." He'd be like, "You are crazy." So obviously, this is not something I can do in my house. Could I hide the breadcrumbs if I had kids? Oh, absolutely. He'd probably think I was crazy. Like, why aren't you hiding eggs? But anyway, so maybe try this tonight. It's a chance to explain sin to your kids, right? So let's see. Well, where was I? Okay. Okay, what's the difference between Hametz and Sior? Hametz is food and is edible. You can serve and eat Hametz as often as you want to. On the other hand, nobody eats Sior, which is an inedible fermented grain which has the function of fermenting other dough. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Again, it's performed by candlelight. So you don't turn the lights during this. So this is another cool thing. You walk around the house, say the blessing, and then you walk around the house looking for it. Because and there's some more symbolism in that too. Like think about that. You have to search for the spread. Sometimes like you gotta, you know, we the thing of it is I can, like it says, take out the plank in your own eye before you take the splinter out of someone else's. Because isn't it sometimes much easier to see somebody else's fault than it is your own? So this tradition is you go around the house by candlelight in the dark. Now, let's face it, candlelight isn't as great as a regular light. You're not going to see everything. So you might miss that bread, which is often sometimes we miss that plank in our own eye, don't we? So this is just kind of revealing things to us. That's why I think it's such a great tradition. Um, and I don't think I'm gonna hide the chametz because I'll probably forget where I put it, and probably have like 5 pieces. I'll find 6 months later. That would be gross. Okay, so on the night before Passover, again, we're doing it 2 nights before because tomorrow's Shabbat. A final ceremonial search, because like I said, the many Jewish people do this for they get all the chametz out like a month before because there's so much of it. Okay, that it takes that long. A ceremonial search for Hametz is performed by candlelight by the entire family. The search is called the Bedachat Hametz, and there is an old custom that 10 pieces of Hametz are to be hidden in the rooms before they are searched. So we just talked about that. Um, Okay, it says if you hide 10 and you or your children only find 9, keep searching. That's the thing. We're supposed to keep searching. We're not supposed to, during our lives, we're supposed to search. God searches our hearts and minds, but He's also continually asking us to search ourselves and let Him reveal to us what's wrong with us, so we can get further and further up the that we want to become Christ-like with every day that passes. We don't want to go backwards, so we want these things revealed to us. So we need to keep searching for our faults within ourselves, and forget about the faults about everybody else. We got to find them within ourselves. The only thing we can do is change ourselves, right? The 10 pieces remind us of the 10 plagues. How about that? That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's about it. It's about 10 minutes. And I'll see you, hopefully, all of you, on Saturday night at 7 for the Seder. Lots of teaching. lots of fun. I actually put on this on the Facebook page what you need to get if you actually want to do the Seder with me. I am going to try for the first time Facebook Live. We will see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you'll join me. Hag Sameach, which means happy festival. I'm so excited. Anyway, love you all. Bye bye.